Greetings! What's up, everyone? Welcome to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs, and I want to thank you for joining me today. So right now we are taking a road trip to buy head bolts. We are buying the head bolts for the Grand Am engine, which means if I'm buying head bolts, that means we're getting ready to reassemble the engine. So yes, everything is on its way. I ordered the Velcro head gasket kit, which is it's the exact same kit that I got for the Aztec when I rebuilt it. I ordered it from Rock Auto this time, and it was actually a lot cheaper than any of the retail establishments in the area, so that's why I did the Rock Auto way. The kit was $140 with tax and shipping. Total was $159. I'm not going to count that in the the total of the Grand Am repairs. It's just going to be the $140 for the kit. But I didn't have enough money to order the head bolts at the same time. So, like I said, this project has been a little rough. Income has been a little tight lately. I probably shouldn't have even bought the head gasket kit, but I think I'll be okay. So it said tomorrow that they should be here. I'm kind of hoping they show up today. That'd be kind of great, because then I could start on other things with the heads at least. But the head gasket kit should be here tomorrow. And yeah, so that's that. So we are taking a road trip to get the head bolts, the Velcro head bolts. Everywhere locally has the head bolts, and they're like $30, $35, somewhere around there. And that's a lot. If I ordered them from Rock Auto, they're like $18 and some change on Rock Auto. But with the shipping and the tax, they total out to be $27. So we're going to Summit Racing. Summit, everybody who's in the car community, racing community, knows what Summit is. We're going to Summit to get our head bolts. They sell them for $22, and with the tax and whatnot, it was $24. So it was the cheapest alternative. I just have to drive a little bit to go get them. That's all. There's no point in having them shipped to the house or anything. I live about 45 minutes away from Talmadge, which is where one of the 4 or 5 distribution centers for Summit Racing is. So I bought the head bolts already online. They are paid for. We just have to go and pick them up. That's all we have to do. So that's where we're heading. Now, the weather is possibly going to turn because it's getting cloudier. They were saying it might rain today, and I'm really hoping that it's not going to rain. But then again, I do feel a change in my eyes and my like a migraine's coming on, and that's pretty typical of me when the weather's going to turn. So there's a chance that I might get rained out for the rest of the day. So if it doesn't rain, if we have a little bit of time when we get home, I'm going to start cleaning off the block surfaces of the engine. Probably not going to document the entire process. We're just going to kind of take a sanding block, try to get all the rest of the gasket material and stuff off. There's not a whole lot left on it, and the gasket actually came off fairly easy, but we do want to make sure that our surfaces are smooth. I'm going to have to re-wipe down the cylinder walls a little bit. I have oil in them right now. It's kind of kept it from rusting. Got to get a little, some of the other little dirt and debris out of the cylinders. But yeah, for the most part, we are near the home stretch of reassembling this engine. And when the kit gets here, if it gets here tomorrow, then over the weekend I will probably get the valve valve spring removal tool, the compressor tool, and we will start putting our heads together with our valves and whatnot. We'll lap the valves in. We will obviously with our gasket kit, we got our new valve seals, so we can put our seals in, and then we can assemble the valves and the springs and stuff, and those heads will be ready to go. So I'm getting excited. Like I said, though, it's starting to get cloudy. Hopefully this will hold off on us for a little bit. So yeah, we just started our journey a little bit ago, so like I said, we got about 40 minutes left, and we will be in Talmadge at Summit Racing to get the head bolts. I'll see you guys in a bit. We're here. All right, so we got our head bolts. Wish I could have taken you guys in there with me, but you know, there's just too much going on. But this place is awesome. Let's go home now. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do what I want to do by the time I get home. The weather, I mean, it's getting darker, and the winds are picking up a little bit more, so I don't know. We'll have to see how it looks in about 45 minutes. Guys, so we're home now, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna luck out with doing anything under the hood of that car today. Maybe, I'm gonna double check the weather. I'm pretty sure the rain was behind us the entire ride home. So I'm gonna have to double check, and you know, if we're in the clear, then I'll start doing a couple things under the hood of that car today. So these are the head bolts here. This is the part number for anybody who is doing a apparently 2.8, 3.1, and of course our 3.4. Pretty sure these are the exact same ones that I used on the Tech when I rebuilt it, but the Aztec came with a 9th bolt, and it was like the stud for one of the engine mounts, one of the dog bones. This doesn't have that. These are just, you know, there's just 8 head bolts in here. That car does not have dog bones. So that's probably the only real difference. But there's the part number, and that's it. So let me check the weather, and we'll go from there. Alright, so according to the weather guy, or the weather app, I have maybe an hour. So I'm going to go out there and start on some of that, and we'll just see how far we get. Probably won't take all that long, really. I mean, it really wasn't in that bad of shape. All of my top end parts are sitting here. They've been patiently waiting to go back onto the engine. That's going to look sharp. That is going to look sharp. There are a few other things I'm going to paint while they're off the car. The engine hooks, like the one goes on the block and the other one goes by the alternator. I'm going to repaint those black because they kind of have a little bit of rust showing. So that'll look cool. And maybe a couple of other things if you know happen to really notice them. I could probably paint this because that's got some rust on it, but you're not really going to see that, I don't think, once stuff's going across it and whatnot. So, alright. I haven't had this towel off of this engine in weeks. Still looks pretty decent, really. Yeah, it don't look that bad. So, yeah, so we're just gonna sand all around these surfaces here, get them smooth. Sand this, obviously the back side. Gotta get this remaining rubber gasket off. Or this RTV, I should say. So I think we'll start that. And as we get closer to actually getting everything on the engine, I'm gonna find stuff to clean all that up, soak that up. A friend of mine's gonna be coming over hopefully this weekend if I'm gonna be getting my parts. We gotta get those broken studs out of there. And I think that's it. There really wasn't a whole lot that got destroyed other than that this time. So, alright, so we'll begin the sanding process. Alright, so here's what one side looks like so far. There's still some dark spots, you know, like down here, around here, 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 a little bit around here. But you can't feel any of that stuff. So I've gone over several times. I used the scraper, tried to scrape off all the stuff around there, but you can't feel it. So I think this side is just about done. I'm gonna maybe do a few more passes with the sanding block, and then we'll move on to that side. Surprisingly enough, the rain has held off thus far. Alright, so that's where we stand with the other side. So, did the sides over here too. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to do anything with the cylinder walls until, you know, like right before we put the heads on. But you can see some stuff fell in there. So we'll just take a soft rag, kind of scoop all that up along with the oil that's in there. You know, we'll try to scoop it out, make sure the walls are clean, then we can put the heads on. That's it. So but when I get ready to do the actual head installation, I'm probably gonna maybe wipe it down with the block, you know, one more time at least, you know. But for the most part, everything is good. She's clean and ready for the heads, pretty much. Lifters, I'm gonna buy more oil also. Somebody even suggested maybe using used oil. I still have oil from the Fusion on the porch, and I still have oil from either my mom's Escape or my sister's Fiesta up there too. But just to dump in through here to flush everything out, you know, out of the crank and stuff. I mean, we still have the clean oil in there. See, it's just been sitting in there. The car's only run, what, for a minute with that oil in there, and that's it. It's been just sitting in that crank ever since. So but if we dump that oil through, you know, there, it'll flush, hopefully flush more stuff out on like the cams and stuff like that. So I might either use the used oil, or I might go to the dollar store and just buy some cheap, really cheap oil and dump it through there. Yeah, so that's where we stand with this. So it didn't rain, so I'm gonna call it a day. I can't do anything else until the kit gets here, and I looked and it's in Chicago right now, so it will be here tomorrow. So yeah, so that's where we are. Progress. Alright everyone, so today is October 17th of 2020, and tomorrow is going to start the official reconstruction of the Grand Am's engine. So my evening kind of got a little messed up because I came home from work with a major migraine, and my plans just kind of got shot, so I'm really starting this off a little bit later than I wanted to. It's completely dark outside, so now I'm in the basement because I don't have a garage, I don't have any outside lights, plus it's really cold out there. I mean, it's almost freezing outside now. But yeah, so I came home, I took my migraine medicine, and I ended up passing out for like 2 hours. So here we are. My migraine is better, so we're gonna work on some stuff here in the basement, unfortunately, because like I said, can't do it outside. It's dark and cold. So head gasket kit came yesterday. This is the exact same kit that I ordered for the Aztec, so it's the Felpro HST 9071 PT-1. These have the metal intake gaskets, and I think they call them severe duty head gaskets also. Hopefully this engine is going to be worth it, but I just kind of didn't want to go with the cheaper Felpro gaskets. I mean, I'm sure they're okay, but I don't know, for some reason I feel better with the metal gaskets and the severe duty head gaskets. So our kit came. That means we're going to start doing work on the heads, which are down here on these dirty car wash towels. So what I'm doing tonight is we're going to lap the valves, which are up there on the dryer. We're going to lap our valves, you know, clean our seats by lapping them on both heads. And then, because the kit is here, we're going to insert our valve seals here, and then we can assemble the springs and valves into these heads, and then they will be ready for tomorrow. So here's all of our valves and springs. You guys really didn't get to see how they cleaned up yet, so once they're out of the bags and stuff, I can show you. They cleaned up fairly good. I'm happy with them. Our lifters. So we're going to fill this up with oil. I'm going to take the lifters out of the bags and have them set in the order you know, that they are in the car, 135246, and they're going to soak in oil overnight. Hopefully the oil will, you know, kind of draw into them so that way they're, you know, full or somewhat full. There's some oil in them, but there may not be enough, but I want them to be lubricated enough, you know. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna do that. My valve spring compressor, I rented this from AutoZone. This is not the one that I usually get when I go to AutoZone. I kind of miss the one that I used to rent because you can hook a ratchet to it. But apparently somebody broke it, they told me, so they had to give me this one. So it's got a T-handle, and it's probably going to take a while. The ratcheting one was so much better, may it rest in peace. And I know you guys have already seen these, but I just like looking at them. They look so awesome. So I wasn't sure if I was really going to document this whole process. You guys have probably seen me do this when I had the Aztec engine apart. It's the exact same engine, it's the exact same heads, all the other parts are the same. So I'm probably not really going to document that, but I'll show you guys, you know, the results once we're done, you know, lapping, getting the valves in, all that stuff, you know, so you can kind of see where we're going with this. So I have to go get a piece of cardboard to put over top of the dryer, because unfortunately that's my workstation. And let the lapping process begin. Alright, so I thought I'd give you guys a little progress report. We are on the back engine head, and I just finished doing the lapping of these 6 valves here. So this head is upside down. So this is 5, 3, and 1. And same thing here, 5, 3, and 1. Let me show you guys what these valves look like. So I took them to school, and I took them through the wire wheel to get the majority of the carbon and stuff off, and they're still not perfect, but they look a lot better than they did. Most of them look like this. This is, like I said, after we lapped them, so the seats on the valves and the head look better. These intake valves actually cleaned up really well. They actually all look like this. They have a actual shine to them. And yeah, just down the line, that's pretty much what they all look like. Intake valve for number 3. Exhaust for 3. Intake for 1. And exhaust for 1. And I know the lighting over here is not good, but you can see how the seats in there are all cleaned up, the rings, you know, right around this area. And they all pretty much cleaned up okay. I tried getting the rest of this stuff off here, but it wouldn't come off this time. So I'm going to start lapping the other head, and then we'll install these in, install the valves and springs into them. Oh, there's the lifters in the oil. They look like they're out of order, but I marked how they were sitting because they all wouldn't sit perfectly straight in this container. So 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, and 6. And I wrote it down underneath. So those have been sitting there in clean oil, and hopefully they're filling up. Alright, so here we are with the front engine head, the second one, and same thing. So it's upside down, 6, 4, 2. 6, 4, 2. And here's our 6 exhaust. Like I said, they all pretty much look the same. Intake. That's oil. That little spot there. See? Intake for 4. Or no, exhaust for 4. I'm sorry. Intake. Intake for 2. And exhaust. And again, you can see the clean seats, those inner rings there. That's it, lapping's done. So hopefully they will all seat well when the car is running. I really, really hope we don't have a valve issue. Hopefully that wasn't what was wrong with the tech, because I did lap those valves also, and they looked pretty much identical to what we've got here. So hopefully that wasn't what caused the miss on the Aztec when I still had it. But it's as good as I'm going to be able to get them. So we're going to start the assembly process now. Alright, good morning. So it's the following day, and this is as far as I got last night with putting the valves back into the heads. This is still the first head. The second head hasn't even been touched yet when it comes to installing the valves. And that's because the spring compressor tool that I bought, or not bought, that I rented, was garbage. The spring would shoot out of it, and made it very difficult to try and get these on, and eventually this one wouldn't even stay on. The spring compressor itself would bind once it got to a certain tension, and then the whole thing just would twist and lose grip of the spring and just shoot it out. So I took it back and I went to another store and rented this one. And this one looks a little more like the OTC one that I used from the one store. Looks like it's got better grips on the bottom. Bigger grips anyway. So I'm a little more confident with this one, and we can hook our ratchet up to it too. So this should make it easier, I hope. Didn't have a problem with the other one, but yeah, the last one that we just had, junk. It must have just been worn out, I'm assuming. So let's continue. Alright everyone, so here's our finished heads. Valves, springs, keepers, new seals. Freshly lapped. Put the spark plugs back in. Check the gap on them. They are where they should be, which is right there, 60,000 7-inch. Painted the motor support brackets just because I had black paint. Figured that could be something else we could touch up a little bit. Started the rust on some of the sides. Got our lifters out here. We're gonna get ready to go do some block work. And other than putting the lifters in and dumping the rest of this down that valley to try to, get the cams and stuff cleaner, we're gonna try to get the old coolant out of the block also. Hopefully I'll have time for all of this, because the sky looks like it's starting to turn on me. Not going to be very happy. So let's take a walk over here real quick. And we can remove this towel for the time being. So, yeah, it looks like it's actually kind of crusting in there, from sitting. The level doesn't really look high like it did. So yeah, so what I want to try to do is first off, we've got a plug here, and there's one like it on the back side, and if I'm not mistaken, it's around here somewhere. Something's been living over here. Ew. Anyway,
I think that's it right there. Yep, that one's going to be kind of a pain, I think, to get to. Anyway, those are the plugs for the coolant jackets in the block. So if we pull that out, coolant's going to flush from this half. You undo the other one, coolant's going to flush from the other half. And then I'm going to try to take a funnel, because I really don't want to hurt any of these cylinder walls, but I've got a funnel that, you know, might fit into that passage there. I'm just going to kind of keep dumping some water into it, you know, try to flush out those passages. And then, you know, we'll obviously let that drain, and I've got some fresh coolant that we're going to pour into there also once that's mixed. Other than that, I might go over the surfaces here maybe a few more times just to make sure we're in the clear. And then what I think I'm going to do something that I didn't do with the Aztec because I really couldn't. But I might try it with this one. But we're going to try to get to the crank pulley, and we're going to try to rotate this engine and get each cylinder as they come up. You know, it'll push some of that crud out of there. We'll wipe some of the crud out, but as it's pushing up, it'll get some of the rest off. And then once, you know, our piston is flush with our block, then maybe we'll wipe down the cylinders a little more, and maybe we can get some more of the crud and stuff out of there. So that's what we are also going to do. But first, let's try to get this coolant out of here, and that way we can leave the passages open and try to get everything out. So that's going to be a 15. Gotta have it going the right way, of course. Oh, the wind's picking up too. It'd be nice if that was draining the whole block. Maybe it is. Yeah, it might have. Ew, so disgusting. Gotta be careful. Ew. Okay, careful. I don't want it to go that far over. Oh, did it get plugged? Oh. Yep. Ew. Probably a good thing we did this. Looking clear, but it keeps plugging. Alright, I'll try to get the other side now. Well, it's kind of a crappy angle. Sorry guys. You're probably going to fall. I have no idea what we're focusing on. Oh well. We're heading to the back now. Oh, here we go. Ooh. Oh, there it goes. Not much room with this exhaust manifold anyway. Oh, ew. hello. My camera's running out of memory, so I'm going to flush that side out, try to work on getting these cleaned and back in there, and clearing out the camera memory. Alright, so the rain has held off so far. I forgot to go clean up the memory, darn it. Oh well. I'm probably not going to be out here for too much longer anyway, we'll see. So, I went through all the cylinders and tried to clean the walls and stuff. Tried to clean the piston tops. I don't really have anything here that's going to clean all of that off, so it's going to be what it's going to be, I guess. It probably won't hurt it. Right now I'm going to get the lifters in. So, brought our lifters up. Remember from last night, 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6. So I'm going to put those in, and then we're going to dump the rest of this oil down into the valley. Alright, so we got the lifters in place. I see a hair here. Can I get it? Yeah, I got it. Remember, when they go in, the flat spots are on the top and bottom. And I think the inside of those guards are also flat topped on the... Yeah, they're flat topped, so maybe they won't go in if that's the case. So we're going to use what oil is left here, and we're just going to dump it through because it's all coming out anyway, just to kind of flush everything else away on the cam. There we go. Good enough for now. Yeah, the oil in this is coming out as soon as, before we get ready to start it. I got some clean oil, clean filter. We're going to start from scratch. Alright, so I had a bit of a rain delay, and I'm out here now. I probably have about, 45 minutes before the sun starts to go down. So I tried to go over our block surface one more time, and this is as good as I can get it with what I have here, but this is all, fairly smooth here. You can't really feel any of the stuff. There's marks, but you can't really feel anything, so I think it'll be alright. I've got the dowels back in, and I'm going to start putting the heads on. So I'm not going to film that process. Alright guys, so it's been about 2 days I think since I last filmed. And here's where we are. So our heads are bolted down, 44 foot-pounds on the first pass, 95 degrees on the second. So they're all down. And I just finished working on getting the back exhaust manifold hooked up. Got the new, not new, but the shield that I found. So the two-piece shield is on. The lower shield, I think there were studs or rivets that held it onto the original exhaust that I took this off of. I don't know, something, either way, I can't get it fastened on the side over here. So I had to take a wire and tie it up. And that's because it's going to rattle like crazy. But I tried to get that wire as tight as I could, but if you see, it's not really making any noise. So I just didn't want it to like rattle obnoxiously. But that's on. And I have to get ready to go to work here soon. So with the little time I have left, I think what we're going to do now, and I don't really plan on documenting this entire rebuild process. There's really nothing different that I haven't done before, but I am going to take this off. This is the oil pump drive on this engine, and there's an O-ring under there that causes leakage. It could even be that, who knows, but I think that's from our gasket. I don't know. So while we're here, before I put the rest of the front exhaust and the crossover pipe on, I figure we're going to open that up and we're gonna take that that drive out and change the O-rings. So this is a 15. Be very careful not to drop anything inside the motor at this point. We'll just shove that in there for now. And as far... oh, okay, so that's a little bracket. It comes off. And I think we have to pry. Probably gonna have to pry up on that. Okay, and then just kind of wiggle and pull, I guess. I didn't have to lock those vice grips on there. There's the O-ring. Hopefully I can get that off with what I have here at the home. Alright, so here's the ring. And actually, as I was rolling it off, there are cracks in it. Little tiny cracks. I did that though. That was me trying to pick it out. I was going to try to cut it off first, but then I was looking at it as I was rolling it. Like I said, there's other cracks like that one there. Anyway, so that's probably a good thing we replace it. And I'm going to try to clean this up. See all the sludge that kind of got built up where that ring goes. We've got our front exhaust on. We've got our crossover pipe connected. All of our bolts are tightened. At this point I gotta get ready to leave, so probably not gonna, well, no, I don't think I have time to get the shields on. I might, maybe I'll try to throw the shields on real quick, but I gotta get ready to pack it up and go to work. So let me grab the shields real quick and I'll see if I can get them done. Alright guys, so today we got our rockers and our push rods torqued down. We got our rockers all cleaned off also. Intake gaskets are in place. I'm getting ready to do this oil pump drive shaft O-ring. Here it is. Looks just like the original one. It is, I guess, extremely important to use the original one. Go to the GM dealership near you and get the actual GM ring. So now I'm going to put it back in, and from there I'm going to get ready to put the intake on. And there it is. Alright guys, so we're in the home stretch. Not ready yet. I had to go buy a new thermostat because the housing, or the O-ring that the kit came with, was too big for the thermostat that was in there, and the old O-ring pretty much flaked off. So I went and bought a new thermostat. But on top of that, my crossover pipe from the junkyard kind of gave me a hard time going in. That took a little while. And that's pretty much it. The whole top end torqued down, done. Basically, all I gotta do now is get all the accessories on. Get the coolant tank in here, throttle body, coil packs, new spark plugs, or spark plug wires, I should say. They're on the ground. That's pretty much it. So for the most part, you know, we're in the final stretch of this, and as long as it doesn't rain tomorrow, I could probably finish it up. But it's dark now. so I gotta wrap it up. Alright everyone, so we are in the final stages of finally getting this car back together. Basically, everything on this side has to be put back on. We got our spark plug, got new spark plug wires, Duralast Gold. They look pretty beefy actually, but they're all set to go. I think I'm missing something for this loom. I feel like this is up too high, or maybe once everything's plugged in it goes down, but I feel like something is weird over here, but I don't know. It is what it is. Work with it later. We're gonna put coolant in it. Still gotta change this oil out. Right now, I'm gonna clean this throttle body. Ew. Not perfect, but it's a lot better. Throttle body's on. Cables are hooked up. This is it. This is our last piece. Everything back here is hooked up, plugged in, except for these. All three of these sensors here are on this tube that we're putting on. We gotta hook the radiator hoses back up, and I think that's it. I think that is it. Then I'm gonna get the fresh antifreeze through it, fresh coolant, and hopefully I can change the oil real quick before it gets dark, and then we're gonna try to start it. So we just finished cleaning our mass airflow sensor, and yes, this time it is on correctly. Whoever had this car serviced or put it on here or whatnot, it may still be the original, I don't know. But that sensor in there, it's all cleaned. We cleaned it with our appropriate mass airflow cleaner. I say it all the time, never use anything else on your mass airflow sensor. Very delicate sensor. So all I gotta do is fasten this on, and I think that's it. I'm gonna go through everything once more, and then I'll start putting the coolant stuff in it, and we can work on getting it to crank over. So now I'm putting the antifreeze in it. I'm doing the method that I used for the Aztec. The only difference is this has a surge tank. So the only real thing that I'm doing differently is, well, nothing really. On the Aztec, this pipe's not here. This is actually a bleed valve here. So on the Aztec, I would take the bleeder valve off of this part of the crossover pipe, do this, have this one open, and then you pour and you squeeze, and then when you start to see the coolant come out of this, you tie it off. Then you finish up here, much like how it looks here. The only exception here is when it's, instead of having this open, it's going into the surge tank. And as you can see, the surge tank is full. It filled itself up. And this isn't going down anymore. So the system should be full, should be free of air, because we've been pumping this and there's no bubbles. It's just coolant. So that should be that. And then I think any other air that's in there should pass into the surge tank. So the radiator's full. I actually dumped some coolant into this hose while it was off to help fill the radiator up a little faster. We got that on there. That's just sitting there. So I guess that's it. So I'm going to tie that off, get my clean this up a little bit, and then I'm going to put some pipe taper on there. We're going to stick that fitting back into the crossover pipe. I wish I could see where the level is on this bottle, but it's so old It does look like it's pretty full though, so I'm assuming it's probably where it needs to be just by doing that naturally. It may have been coming out of the overfill. Is overfill wet? I don't think so. So I think it's good where it is. We'll see what happens. Alright guys, oil time. There's a lot of cruddy stuff under here. I don't think I put the car up high enough. Oh well. Oh, I got stuff dripping on me. You guys aren't going to be able to see it, I don't think. I always forget what size it is. 15. I think I'd know that by now. It's still going to be clean for the most part, but you guys have seen what we were doing with the oil that was in here, is just letting it sit, and all the stuff that we poured from up top, we're just trying to drain it. Ooh, it is kind of dark. It's freezing cold. Yeah. So we'll just let that drain out. This engine ran for what? 1 minute. This oil only has 1 minute on it. 1 minute of life. So it was probably still pretty decent, but all the stuff that was in there, I'd rather it just drain. We start with some new oil. Got a new filter. I've probably repeated a lot of stuff in this vlog over the last few days. This vlog is just a mess of days trying to get this project complete, because nothing ever goes according to plan. Nothing. What did I put in there? 5 quarts. It's 4.5 quart engine. I put all 5 in, knowing that this was coming back out, and at this point it's probably doing it better. You know, better for flushing. So it should be thinning out anytime now. It's probably because it's so cold also. It's like 40 some degrees. So I'm not going to bore you guys with this. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit and work on getting the filter out. Hey look, all the goop is coming out now. Well, that's good. Wow. Doesn't that look familiar? Oh good, at least it's coming out. So I'll let that sit there like that for a few more minutes, and we'll go from there. Alright, battery's in. Don't have it hooked up yet. Oil's clean. I filled it up. Well, that hasn't been wiped off in a while, but I put about 5 quarts back into it. We got our antifreeze in, all of our sensors, spark plugs, vacuum lines. I gotta button this down some, but it's in place. Oh, there we go. Finger tighten it for now. Air filter's in there. Oh, okay, I'll have to readjust that. I could put the ram air thing back on. It's over there, but we'll leave that off for the moment. I gotta get the battery hooked up anyway. I got my phone up there as my light, because of course, well, I got stuff everywhere and it's dark. Figures. Alright, let's get ready to fire it up. Alright, and the Grand Am is alive. So, battery's hooked up. Battery's been in the house. Hopefully it's got charge. It's been in the basement where it's actually warmer than it is out here. Pulled the fuel pump relay. because we want to get the top end of this. We want it to kind of fill the lifters and stuff with the oil, even though should be oil in them, but I want the oil to be pumped throughout. And just in case something goes wrong, the hose is here, because who knows. Everything should be good. This time I didn't take any guesses when it came to torquing down the main engine components. Obviously the heads were torqued to spec, but the intake bolts had a torque wrench, torqued to spec, plenum, torqued to spec, valve covers, torqued to spec, rocker arms, torqued to spec. Everything is torqued down to GM specifications, except for this air filter housing that I gotta do. I think I did it. I think it's on there. It's good enough for now. Alright, so this is it. I'm really nervous about this one. I don't know why. I'm just really nervous. I looked everything over again. We're hooked up everywhere. Heater hoses, vacuum, electrical, everything. So, make sure that power wire is covered, and yes it is. Okay. I guess we're going to try this. Oh boy. Alright. I didn't hear the fuel pump. Low oil. Shouldn't be. We just filled it. It's full. Maybe it'll go off once it's running. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's just the switch is stuck or something. That is at the bottom of the crankcase. So we'll see what happens. Oh no, my battery! Really? I was really hoping it wasn't going to be dead. Yep. Hopefully that's what it is. Alright. So, we got this little jump pack that my dad got me for my birthday a couple of years ago. Maybe it was Christmas. And it's the first time I'm using it. It's got a full charge. It's not on yet. My wife wants to come out and see if this is going to start too. So, hopefully that'll be enough to, kind of give it some boost. I want to add, before this, possibly runs or doesn't run, whatever. The lady who owned the car before me did say that I think there was a service engine light on for the EGR valve and the O2 sensors, and I think she said the water pump might need to be replaced also. Didn't replace any of that because I first off wanted to see what symptoms it shows once the car's running perfectly. The water pump issue could be because the car was drinking coolant, and if the coolant is low and whatnot, obviously it's not going to circulate, so it could still have an overheating problem or something. We'll see. As far as the EGR valve and the O2 sensors, that could be emissions related, obviously, because this car was, obviously there were pollutants in the oil, all that stuff gets passed through those emission systems, and that could have been throwing those codes also. So we might have a handful of things to take care of once it is actually running, and we'll go from there. So I just wanted to get it back to at least somewhat healthy before we attempt to replace parts and not really know what the full diagnosis is going to be. Alright. We're doing it the old school, car to car. See what happens. Oh look, the low oil light went off. Cranking just to get oil pumping. Don't expect it to run. Ooh, I don't know if I like that. Maybe it's alright, I don't know. Okay, it thinned out a little bit. Alright. So now we're gonna hook the fuel pump up. Alright, fuel pump is hooked up. Now we've got to prime it. I heard it kick over. Do it again. I just hope it got to the injectors. All right, what's gonna happen? It might not even fire once. It's probably at the injectors by now. All right, here goes nothing. Okay, not enough yet. That lifter's still ticking. Oh no! But it's running. Oh man. Alright, so she has been on for quite a while. We got the occasional new smoke from some new parts. The tick. She's quieted down. It actually sounds pretty good. But I'm noticing we're facing possibly another issue. We have no heat, and she did say something about the water pump. The temperature gauge is at the normal mark right now. It was a little higher. Maybe the thermostat just opened. But I still have no heat, so we might have to do some more bleeding with the cooling system. The surge tank started to overflow. I had it cracked open a little bit, and the surge tank did start to overflow. So, yeah. So we did have that. And for those of you who may have watched the other video, yes, our new driver's side fog light does work. Oh, I never checked the horn. Because I bought that horn. Does the horn work? Yes, it does. Alright, so we got a good horn, we got a good light. The engine sounds good. Let me turn the fusion off real quick, so we can hear it. Sounds good. All right, the thermostat opened. This hose is now extremely hot. That's a good sign. Oh, the ram air, that's right, that's off still. Might need a tensioner or something, not a tensioner, but a pulley maybe. Where's our temp gauge at now? Alright, so it's still normal. Got a little bit of heat now. Got a little bit of heat. Maybe we just had to wait for that to circulate for the first time. Okay, I'm excited now. And guys, look at how the oil looks already. We just changed this. We just did this. It already looks like it's got to be changed again. But that's okay, because a lot of the stuff that was in there, at least on the top half part, is good. Yeah, I hear a rattle. So there might be a belt tensioner or a belt pulley going bad. Maybe it is the water pump. But I don't know, we're getting heat. This is hot now. Like I said, the surge tank was overfilled. Smoke's starting to clear away. Got no obnoxious stuff coming from the exhaust. It's just condensation from it being so cold out here. No service engine light yet. Oh yeah, we're getting good heat now. Oh yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, everyone. So, you can see we're facing the other way of the property now. I let it sit for a while. We got heat. The engine really quieted down. I took it around the block. I didn't document it because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Probably should have, because a couple of interesting things did happen. We will save those for another vlog when there's actually daylight out. We'll probably take it out maybe tomorrow, weather pending. The tires on this thing are shot also, so we will not be, whoa, spooky. We will not be going anywhere far with this thing yet, but maybe we could take it to the gas station, put air in. The tires are a little low. But other than that, I mean, it drove, but we do have a couple of other things I think that we're going to have to take care of, but it didn't overheat. It sounds good. In fact, here, we'll start it up again. It sounds really good after it's been, you know, warmed up. Battery is obviously charged by now. So there's that. I forgot on these, that's usually right where the coolant temp is supposed to be. It's going to come down a little bit because we just had it running, so it'll probably come down in a minute or so. But yeah, they usually run a little over 200. I thought it was 205. I think the thermostat opens at 195, but I thought they usually stay somewhere around 200 to 205. So that is actually still pretty good. We got relay for the auto headlights. That's the fog lights that are on right now. So we can replace the auto headlight relay. I'll do that tomorrow, so that way that'll cancel that out. I think that's it. So the Grand Am finally lives. So now I guess we can see if we have any other issues. And I know we do. It's just a matter of figuring it out over time, you know, what's going on. So that's it. This extremely long and very unorganized vlog is over. If you guys enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Also check out teespring.com/store/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. And that's it. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.